The latest coming out of Ukraine overnight, I said at the beginning of the program, is that Russian forces are regrouping on the edge of the capital, Kiev, in what looks to be the precursor for the heaviest attack on the city yet. Meanwhile, the mayor of the city of Melitopol was captured on CCTV being kidnapped, there it is there, by Russian soldiers. And then afterwards, a group of 2,000 locals gathered to demand his release. But there's still steely resistance coming from Ukrainian soldiers and locals in the capital, with many preparing for what they describe as a last stand defence. Meanwhile, CBC News in the United States is reporting that 20,000 additional volunteers from as many as 52 countries have joined the Ukrainian fight, which is assisting morale in the besieged country. I want to cross now to Kiev and get the latest from Professor turned politician Inna Sovsun. Inna, thank you very much for joining us again. Can I say this to you? Since we've been discussing things during the Kremlin program in the week prior, many viewers have been asking me via email about your safety. And are you safe? Don't tell us where you are, of course, but are you safe where you are? And how do the politicians who will be the first to be tracked down by the Russians, how are they keeping out of harm's way?
Well, thanks for everyone watching for making sure that I'm safe. I am safe to an extent that is possible in Ukraine here right now, because, of course, no one in Ukraine, not a single spot, not a single region is safe from the air raid bombs. So that is what we got this morning. Just 2 hours ago, we heard information that they bombarded the western region of Lviv, and they also keep on bombarding other areas where they, in the east, in the center of Ukraine. So I am okay. I am alive. My loved ones are alive and safe. My son is because my son is in the western Ukraine, he's getting used to going down to the basement when he hears the air raid alert. I will never forgive Putin for my son living through that. But other than that, I'm okay.
Putin has done indirectly more for nationalism amongst you people than anything else, hasn't he?
Oh, that is true. I don't think Ukraine has ever been as united as it is right now. I don't think there is a single person who disagrees about the fact that Putin attacked us without any good reason, was completely unprovoked. We are complete victims in this situation. And people are, with every single attack, I think Putin plans that people will try to surrender. But with every single attack, actually, the spirit is getting stronger, and more people volunteer, and more people donate, and more people sign up for the military or territorial defense. Right now, 2 days ago, I think a friend of mine asked me, since you are a member of parliament, maybe you know some way to get my brother into the territorial defense in Kiev, because it is so overstuffed that it's impossible to get into it. Right. Just for you to realize the spirit we are having here.
Incredible.
But that, of course, that is something that Putin didn't expect, and I don't see how he can actually make our country surrender. But he can definitely destroy the whole infrastructure and kill many, many people while he's fighting in this nonsensical war.
Yeah, you must be disappointed by the refusal from the United States to share fighter jets with Poland, who would then share their jets with pilots of the Ukrainian Air Force. This could change the complexion of this entire battle. Are you disappointed with the US for standing hard on that decision?
I think the whole Ukraine does feel betrayed because of not getting enough support in this fight. Because the West, I believe, keeps staying in denial, believing that this is just a Russia war against Ukraine. But it is actually Russia's war against the whole, civilization. He is trying to destroy the world as it used to be. And I know it is a scary thought, it is a scary reality, but that is true. And I think that everyone should just stop being in denial and accept this fact. And just help us fight back on our territory before he proceeds further. We already hear the Russian propagandists on Russian television saying that they will not stop in Ukraine, they will go into Poland and into Lithuania. They already are given names of the countries that will be attacked next. So I really wish that those countries come into some agreement on how we can fight back right now before we lose many, many more lives of civilians here. So yes, we are disappointed. We are feeling betrayed. Ukraine did give up its nuclear weapon in 1994 in exchange for assurances from the West that if we are attacked, we shall get protection. But now we are getting, well, we are getting weapons. I cannot say that we're getting nothing from the West, but it's not saving us from the sky. And that is the scariest thing ever. It's hearing the air raids, thinking that your son, thinking that my son, who's 9 years old, is now scared because he heard the air raids, and then he is asking me like, "Mom, will they attack Kyiv? Will they destroy our house?" And that is something that is unexcusable, and that is something that the whole world should be against. And I really wish the world would see that as a threat to the whole humanity and help us fight back. Yes.
I could only imagine what's going on in Kiev behind closed doors, in bunkers, making sure that Kiev is protected by Ukrainians, by local Ukrainians and the army. But Russia would be confident about taking the city, despite the fact that there's been a massive lag from when they thought they would. Can they take Kiev, Inna?
I don't think they can take over Ukraine. That's for sure. That is what we know. They can cause immense damage. They are trying to do that every day. The pictures you are showing are exactly of that. I do not believe they can take over the city. They have not been successful in taking over even smaller cities close to Kiev. And we shall really fight back as much as possible. If the Russians take Kiev, that is because everyone here is killed and dead and the whole city is destroyed. That is the only way for them to take the city. But I really hope that the West will intervene and will not allow for that to happen.
Are you able to determine whether some of the humanitarian aid that has been voluntarily donated by countries like Australia and other countries, has any of that landed on the ground in places like where you are?
That depends, because for some areas humanitarian aid was provided, like from my native city of Kharkiv, they did receive some humanitarian aid. But for the city of Mariupol, which is under the heaviest blockade ever, that is just terrible, because the Russians are actually stealing the humanitarian convoys and using the humanitarian aid that was provided to the civilians, like food and medicines, for their own use. That is how much evil they are. And that is during almost 2 weeks of blockade of the city. The mayor's office in Mariupol reported over 1,500 people dead in Mariupol alone. And they are stealing the food from the people who are already dying.
Disgraceful.
Yes.
You call it evil. It is. That is the definition of evil. Inna Sovsun, keep safe, and we'll be in touch during the week. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Chris.